Okay. So InDesign is a software that we use to do documents like magazines, books, anything larger than a one-pager or two-pager, which you can easily do in Illustrator. It is a very handy software, and it's nice because it goes very well with the other Adobe softwares in the suite, which are Photoshop and Illustrator. They're all meant to go together. They're kind of the trinity of graphic design software. And so the basic layout of an InDesign document, and I think that I'm working on an older version, so the interface that you'll be looking at probably won't be the same as the one I have. It'll look closer to the new Illustrator and Photoshop one, but the functions are all still basically the same. You have all of your tools on the left-hand side, and you have all of your palettes on the right-hand side. So to set up a new document, it's the same as the other two softwares, File, New, except when you get to Document, you want to, our document we're going to be working on is going to be 11 by 14. So I'm pretty sure Zoran said that. So I think we're going to have to do a custom document size. And what change my custom, and I don't want it in points, I want it in inches. Number of pages. All right, for the moment, I'm going to open up a letter one because I've got to figure out how to switch from inches, from points to inches, which is not on the default open menu. So for today, we're going to work on letter, and then I will figure out how to change that so you're not all waiting. Okay, so we're going to start with a letter page. So that's 8.5 by 11. And this is the basic page in InDesign. And one of the cool things you can do in InDesign is you have a function over here called Pages. And Pages allows you to either click on and create new pages over here, or you can create something called a master page, which is what we are going to be working with. And the way that works is, so rather than just, create new pages here, like right? So here we have multiple pages in the document. The cool thing about master pages is that you can drag from up here, pull them into your document, and everything you do on a master will also happen on everything in the document. So opposed to an Illustrator where you have to go in and work on each page individually, if you work on a master page, you can lay out where your page numbering is going to go and other basic things, and then pull that into the document, and they will automatically be populated. Okay, so what that looks like is, so here I am working in a master, right? So if I plug in my tablet here, there we go. So if I do some sort of artwork or whatever on my master page, you will see that that shows up in every one of the pages in my document, okay? So if I click in here and move through my document, see how that is now on every page? This is very handy. So the idea is you will have a page for, that'll have maybe your logo, maybe some sort of a small graphic in the corner, and then you'll drag that into the document and it will naturally be populated all the way through it. Okay, then you can go in individually and then put in on each page things like text boxes, yeah. So this is a box for text. So you're going to put a resume in here. On this page, you will put a graphic. This page, you'll put photos. Here, you'll put a description of what's there. So you're basically designing a portfolio using the software. And the cool thing about InDesign is that it is extremely compatible, obviously, with Photoshop and Illustrator, which if you've ever tried to put things into Word, you'll know that it is a lot more labor intensive. You don't have to resave everything as JPEGs to put it into InDesign. You can just put in Photoshop documents. You can put in Illustrator graphics right into this document. So it is a very handy tool. The only thing to think about from day one is that you need to keep all of your items that you're putting in the final document saved in one folder. Okay, the idea that we had with Photoshop where we saved the pattern files separately because Photoshop didn't save it, it's the same thing with InDesign. It does not save your images. It does not save your graphics. You have to keep them in a folder somewhere that you can easily find. InDesign will, when you open the document again, will ask you where you want to get the graphics from. Okay, so remember to keep everything in the place where InDesign will find it. The way when you open up Illustrator files and it can't find an image and says, needs image, blah, 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 it will do it for this one as well. If you are working on your own computer, you will keep all the graphics in one file and InDesign will know naturally to get it from there. Okay, so what we're going to work on today is setting up basic documents in InDesign and starting to populate them on each page. Okay, so the idea would be we'll have a cover page. Now the other cool thing about InDesign is you can have more than one master page. So if you want different sections of your portfolio to look slightly differently, like you want your cover page to be different, you don't have to have the same master page all the way through. Okay, so I'm going to try to put in a different master. Like say I wanted this one here, but then I wanted a different style. There we go. And you can see how it's different now because the graphic is here, but it's not on this page. So if I go into my master up here now and do another graphic, you can see how that is now shown up in my document, right? And then you can move things around in here. Boom. Right, so if I want these to be 2A documents, I can just click and drag it from here. If I want this to have a C document, I click and drag into the side. Okay. And then once again, I can go into my document individually, into my document, and put in things like text on the various pages. And I can also put in graphics here. And if I'm working in the document, all the same things apply that we used in Photoshop and Illustrator. I can do things on each pages, and the master page will be there, and then this will only happen on this one page in the document. If I want this to happen all the way through it, I would then have to do something like copy this, Control C, I go to my masters. I have the B master doesn't have anything on it yet, so I'll head up to my B master, and then I'll Control V into the document. And then wherever I now pull that B, it will show up in my InDesign document, like that. Okay, so the idea I really want to get across today is the difference between master pages and pages in the document, which I think that we have pretty well explored. There is a sheet